Aloha ma'ikapo, aloha. And we are going to be honored by the daughter of Sally Sullivan, Janai Sullivan, speaking with us tonight with her representatives. We've also invited Walgreens. Sam and I haven't heard from them yet. And we have a statement that will be read regarding the Coca Marina Shopping Center. How many of you shop at Coca Marina Shopping Center? Wow. Okay, how many of you shop at Walgreens?
Where?
Okay.
Aloha, everyone, and thank you so much for coming out tonight, particularly on short notice. Just as a little bit of background, let me tell you that since late Wednesday afternoon last week, your local legislators and neighborhood board members have been besieged by you and your fellow citizens who were very concerned. Some people didn't even get the notice that Foodland was going to be closing. Other people had heard and couldn't believe it. They wanted to know if we could do something about it. So that's why we put together this town meeting. And the whole purpose is to hear from you. That's what we want to do. And I can assure you that the folks at both Walgreens and the Coca Marina management will be hearing from you as well. I have a statement from them and I'll read in a few minutes. But this is not a session where we just get together and try to point fingers at other people. It's a session to try to find workable solutions. And I know some people called in this afternoon and said, well, there's no sense coming tonight because I read the paper, it's a done deal. There are no done deals until everybody stops contributing or having an input. And we know how passionate you are. I wrote in a story yesterday that the last time there was a true grassroots citizens movement to save a commercial enterprise was Save Our Star Bulletin nearly 11 years ago. I think that many people in the corporate area do not fully understand how important customer loyalty is and how important it is for people like yourself to come out and stand up and say something. I read, I'm sure you read also the comments this morning in the Star Advertiser. The managing partner, there are 4 partners that own Coca Marina, and the managing partner who lives on the mainland, Mr. K, Abraham K, made a statement, and most of what he said was absolutely true and correct, but I think he missed the point of one of the statements, because he said, while these decisions are market-driven, and that's absolutely true, he said, you can't be deterred by hearsay and the comments of a few residents. We've heard from many hundreds of residents. I know we're going to get a report in a few minutes about the petition, and it is a true community grassroots input. And so I want to thank you, and I don't want you to feel that you're not empowered because you are. I don't want you to feel that you don't have a voice because you do. And so we'll see how this meeting goes tonight, and we will transmit everything that occurs here. And as that famous philosopher once said, it ain't over till it's over, and I don't see any fat lady singing as yet.
Laura Buck is here and Paige Altonn. Would you two come and give an update on what we see, what we're doing, and how it's going?
The reason I started this petition, it was actually sort of interesting because my mom had seen an online story Tuesday night about how Foodland was closing. And I told her, this is crazy, that's not going to happen. No. It's April Fools or something, that's not going to, there's no way, that's not going to happen. And when I woke up Wednesday morning and I saw it in the paper, I couldn't believe it. And so in total of about 12, 13 hours, we've gotten over 2,300 signatures from not just residents of Hawaii High and Manalo and Salt Lake and New Valley and pretty much everywhere else on this island, but a lot of visitors. I come to Foodland every single time I come to visit Hawaii. We stop here on our way to Film Lake. And these people want to keep Foodland. And this petition has been very important to me. So Laura's just holding, these are the originals. As you can see, I'm sure most of you guys in here have already signed this or have people who have signed this in the neighborhood. Like I said, over 2,300 signatures, probably another couple hundred tonight. So that's where we stand with the petition. Our initial goal with this petition was to get the signatures, send it to Sofos Realty, the management company, send it to the Sullivan companies in Foodland, and send it to every single media outlet that would take it. And the media's picked it up. We haven't really gotten it out to Foodland or Sofos Realty yet, but that will be coming. So that's sort of the status on the petition to date. I don't know if it's going to do any good, but when you sign your name on here, think of it as your voice screaming from this page that you want to keep your Foodland boycott. So we're hoping that this yells at them off these pages. So, thank you.
Janai Wall.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to begin by, on behalf of everyone at Foodland, saying thank you. Thank you for your support of our store over the last 47 years, and especially over this last week after we announced the closing of Foodland boycott. Closing a store, as you can imagine, is never easy. It's something that we don't like to do as a company, especially in a community that has meant a lot to us. And this store, when it opened in 1963, it was the first store out here, I think, as you heard a little while ago. My dad believed in putting stores in communities where no one else would go. He felt that we had a responsibility to be there for people. And as their communities grow, he wanted Foodland to be a part of it. And my mom, who's going to be 90 in a few weeks, was talking to me about how sad this store closing makes her. And she was saying, you know, when you talk to them, tell them that, you know, when we opened that store, Henry Kaiser was there at the groundbreaking. And she talked about what a special moment it was. And I share that because I hope that it conveys to you from our family, from the Sullivan family, and also from the extended Foodland family, that this is a store we really, really care about. Over the years, we've tried to give back to this community. Through our Shop for a Better Education program, I know we helped contribute a lot of the computers at Cocoa Head Elementary. And we give scholarships to students at Kaiser. We've also, through our Give a Local program, supported organizations here. And I share that only because I want you to know that as a company, we believe in supporting the people who support us. And it was something that was ingrained in us by my father. It is something that everybody here who is part of our team and the 2,500 employees we have throughout the state really believe in, that serving you is the most important thing we do because you support us. And we know that we wouldn't be here without you. I know that some of you are interested in what has transpired and where we are. And what I can tell you is that we have been working diligently over the last several years to renew our lease in boycott. It was our intention and our sincere hope to remain here. I know there have been rumors, and I think there was a statement from the shopping center saying that Foodland walked away from the negotiations. That is absolutely not true. We presented several different terms, and our last offer, I want to tell you, was one that we believe was very competitive. We offered to put in $3 million into the store over several years to do a renovation, which is a lot of money for us. We also agreed to rents that we believe were very competitive because we wanted to stay. And what we heard back from the leasing agent was that our offer was rejected. And so I don't think that's walking away from the table. I think they decided to work with someone else, and that's pretty much what happened. They told us that our offer was rejected in favor of them working with Walgreens. And it took a while for the lease to get signed. There was a lot of rumors back and forth. We hoped that it wouldn't go through, that something would fall through. When we heard recently that the lease had indeed been signed, that is when we felt that it was important to take care of our employees and let them know what was happening and find a place for them within our company. We at the same time have been talking to Walgreens about getting some of the space for their store. If some of you read the newspaper this morning, there was a quote from a Walgreens representative who said that Foodland declined that offer. It's funny because I have an email, and we spoke to him today, in fact, from their head of real estate, who said that they are still considering their options, and we are one of the options that they are considering. And so I want you to know that that is still a possibility. Certainly having a store half the size is not an ideal thing for us, but I think that our willingness to go into 15,000 square feet instead of 30 is based on our belief that this community needs a supermarket, and it needs a supermarket other than Safeway. So that's what we're hoping for right now. I also want to take this opportunity to thank Sean Strand, our store director, and the employees at Foodland White High.
This is the statement that was received at 4:30 this afternoon from Cocoa Marina Shopping Center. We sympathize with the community's concern over the food source issue, but will not be able to attend the town meeting this evening. We do feel there are some unwarranted claims that are circulating and wanted to put them to rest. Unfortunately, we feel that our presence will cause more problems where it is our intent to solve them. We understand that emotions are running high, but this is not something that happened quickly or was taken lightly, although it may seem that way to the general public. Over the past 2 years, we've been trying to keep Foodland at our center. In the end, the final contract that was agreeable to both parties couldn't be reached. We don't understand why the blame has been placed strictly on one side. Without divulging the confidential lease negotiations between Foodland and Sofos Realty, which handles leasing for Cocoa Marina Center, too many concessions or burdens were to be placed on the center. It wasn't a matter of not wanting to accept the proposal, but rather not being able to accept it. The landlord had emphasized the intention to retain a grocery section within the space and made every attempt to have Walgreens work with Foodland on a sublease opportunity. Therefore, we feel every effort was made to keep that resource available for our residents. We don't feel this is a dispute with Foodland and understand they had to make a business decision that made sense for them as well as for us. The landlord appreciates all the years that Foodland was a tenant and wishes them well. We would be completely supportive and ecstatic if they are able to resurrect an agreement with Walgreens. The community and our customers continue to be our top priority, and we strive to make the center a resourceful destination. We look forward to hearing the feedback from the meeting and plan to work with Senator Slom, Representative Ward, and others, as well as Walgreens on this endeavor. Walgreens is excited to be a part of this community, and although they won't be called a grocery store, they are planning on offering food items like canned goods, dry goods, milk, and poultry and dairy products, packaged meats, nutritional food, baby formula, candy snacks, soft drinks, etc. This should help to alleviate some of the concerns over food supply shortages in the community. We would also like to work with local farmers to coordinate a more regular, ongoing open market at the center. Cocoa Marina Center is a caring part of the community. We are an annual sponsor of the Hawaii Marina Boat Parade and the Keiki Kaliki Maka Parade, assisting the Lions Club to continue with this Christmas tradition by subsidizing part of the cost to sustain it. We have stood by the community against the shark tours, revoking their boat slip once we uncovered the commercial plans that they hadn't divulged to us. By the way, let me interrupt. That came from the community as well. It was the community and the neighborhood board and their elected officials that brought that to their attention. Getting back to their statement, we have supported the Independence Day at Wanalua Bay over the past 3 years as a cash sponsor, as well as providing fundraising opportunities at our center. And we have made numerous donations to the Kaiser Complex schools at all levels. In addition, we support the Hawaii Food Bank, the local county giving project, and Toys for Tots with annual fundraisers. We will continue to support the community in every way. Please let me know if you have any additional questions or concerns. Thank you for this opportunity. Signed by Christy Peacock, Account Manager, on behalf of Coco Marina Center.
I do real estate development. I'm very much aware of what goes on in the community. And making a project work, you actually need the support of the community. The community here, every one of us has power. And the power is the power that Nancy Reagan spoke about. Just say no to drugstores.
My name's Don Huff, and I just want to make a statement. It's called boycott. Boycott.
Hi, I'm Glenn Martinez. I'm the president of Hawaii Farmers Union United. We're the second largest agricultural community, second only to the Farm Bureau. And on behalf of all of our farmers in the Farm Union, we're very, very grateful to Foodland for buying local. So far, I've not located a farmer who has sold to Walgreens. Yeah. So, on behalf of the farmers, though, we need the few people who are buying local to stay in business. We do not see losing a store like this is doing anything for the farmers of this valley or where I live in Waimanalo, and Omaha Gardens. To lose a store that is buying local and representing it so well for so long cannot be idly slept off. It's not a light thing. The farmers are having a really hard time. So we have to champion the people that have so faithfully bought local. We appreciate it. Thank you.
I just have a question. This is such a finite environment with so many people living on this island. Is there any provisions at all that let you change? Is there any ratio of food stores like the drug stores, or can you just pull a major food market out of an area? Has anybody ever, is that written anywhere? My question is, this is a travesty as far as I'm concerned. In this kind of a time when food is going to be scarce, we're talking about shipping, we're talking about distribution, we're talking about an island where the population is actually growing. Isn't there any kind of provision that at least challenges or checks if somebody can pull a market out of a major area and put a drugstore back in its place? I don't know the answer to that, but I mean, we're signing this petition and everything, but what's the legality of this? I realize laissez-faire and business does what it wants, but there's a huge need here for, I think, all these stores. And it's just, is there anything, does anyone ever talk to the legislator, not just about the taxes and regulations, but about how many food stores an island like this needs with a growing population?
And it certainly is true that our tax burden, our regulatory burden is such that it's been negative for all businesses, all concerns. Lots of times people don't speak up. They don't get involved. We beg people to come down to the legislature or emails or send in testimony for one reason or another. They don't do it. And that gives lawmakers the opportunity to say, well, we asked and nobody said anything, so we're going to make the decisions. And those of us that are in the majority will make most of the decisions because we have the numbers to do so. But as I said in the beginning, and I want to repeat, I don't want you to feel that you don't have power, because you do. If you exercise your power, remember, Gene and I and Mark and Stan are your servants. You tell us what to do. But I'm saying that you don't want government further telling businesses or other people what to do because they make bad choices. I just say one more thing about the rankings of the states. As Gene mentioned, unfortunately, we come in always low on the totem pole in terms of comparison with other states, in economic matters, tax matters, so forth. Tomorrow at 8 a.m., ALEC, which is the American Legislative Exchange Council, will introduce and promo its 4th edition of Rich States, Poor States. I can tell you that Hawaii will come in number 46 on that ranking. We know things that we can do to make things better. And even in this area of transparency and public input, this is the only state in the union that does not have statewide unlimited initiative, referendum, or recall. So if you want to get involved, these are the things that you have to do, and you tell your government what you want us to do. Thank you.
What more can we do is picketing or, protesting or some other means to let people know that, we don't want this to happen.
Does have a lease sign with Walgreens, so I think that that's pretty set in stone. For us now, what we are working on, because in our mind, once that lease is signed, that was the first we realized there was nothing else we could do. So we have been in contact with Walgreens, and that is what we're working towards now, being able to take half of their space. I don't know who else they're talking to. I don't know what other options they're considering. But for now, for us at Foodland, that is our best option at this point, as far as we know.
Has there been any study regarding traffic movement in Hawaii once there's only one supermarket at Safeway? Because I believe that right now Safeway is already locked in. And if you try to find a place to park over there, it's sometimes very difficult, and lawns is very difficult. So if now we're trapped with one supermarket, is there any state requirement to take a look at traffic management in that area over by Safeway if Foodland is gone? Because right now it's difficult enough, and I see just a whole lock-in of traffic nightmare with that one supermarket. And I'd like to know if there's any way we can look into that or ask the DOT or somebody and try to maybe use that as some kind of argument.
There has not been a traffic study. To my knowledge, all of the things that people have complained about in terms of Hawaii Kai Shopping Center here, this whole area has become even more congested and it certainly is a problem. Some of us remember when Coco Marina made a presentation to expand the theaters over here, and the question that the neighborhood board at that time asked was about parking, what was going to happen with employees, and to take that as parking. And their answer was that it was not going to take up space in the shopping center, it was going to be additional parking. That, of course, has not come about. So parking is a very critical issue, but unless the shopping center itself undertakes to do the study, the state will not probably do that.
And I'm just curious whether there is anyone here who can give us any information about the future of the Blockbuster space, how big it is, whether it's been considered in connection with this latest round of negotiations, or what? Or are we just going to sit there with a huge empty space while we throw one of our most valuable tenants out of existing space?
I talked to them about the size of Blockbuster. I thought it was a lot larger. It's 6,000 square feet. And we're talking about the Foodland space, approximately 33,000 square feet. One other statement that I would make is that if you look at Walgreens, particularly on the mainland, and with their plans that they've announced here already, because they're going to move into the Safeway spot on Veritania Street when the new Safeway is completed, next to the old Shoe and Carriage property. Normally, they do have tenants with them. One of the tenants that they have had continuously on the mainland is the pet store, a company called Petco. And they have been mentioned about negotiations. You know that we lost Pets Discount in the White High Town Center. And so really all of this issue, there's a lot of things in play, a lot of things that we're not privy to. Even Foodland is not privy to. But as we get additional information, we will absolutely share it with the neighborhood board and with the community.
This community needs a full-service, Class A supermarket from wall to wall. In I think it was 1999, there was a new White High plan, master plan. As I recall, when they were planning Town Center and White High Shopping Center, there had to be certain basic services in those facilities, which included food markets. And some of you may have access to those plans, or some of you may recall where those plans are. But I'd like to find somebody that could unearth those plans and see whether or not those protocols are still in effect. That brings up another point, and that is that the money that we spend at Coca Marina Center goes to Bishop Estate. They are the owner of that land. They can make the final decision as to who and what is on that land. And what we're doing is we're going through a third party. The ownership, or the ownership group, is a third party between us and Bishop Estate. So what I'd like to do is invite Bishop Estate to come down here and get involved in this process as well, and recognize that we are in dire straits starting July 10th. Thank you.
When people first started calling me the other day, I told them honestly, and everyone since, I thought that the contract had been signed already, but that we never give up, and we think that there's things that we can do. I hope that you found this of value tonight, because you gave up your valuable time. I hope you heard ideas and thoughts that maybe you hadn't heard before. I hope that you heard suggestions of things that might or might not be done. And most importantly, we try to answer any and all of your questions to the best of our knowledge and our ability to provide you with that information. It's not over. We need our daily bread.